14th August 2024 day today. Very good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in BTM TV. My name is Idrissa Mwonge. Today is a Wednesday, and here we are once again on the day break. In Ichitezi, more bodies are still being recovered. By yesterday, 2 more bodies were recovered, which brought the death toll to 24. There are those who believe that there are still more people who are still covered under that garbage. Very unfortunate incident, a disaster that struck on Saturday. We are hoping there are no more bodies down there. But the people who used to live in that area, who have been residents of that area, they tell you that considering the number of households that were covered by the garbage, there must be other bodies lying below the garbage. The excavators are still there, trying to see that they can retrieve those bodies. And the Red Cross are doing the necessary. And also the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Relief and Disaster Preparedness, they're also helping out. The Prime Minister, Right Honorable Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, was there yesterday, met with the Uganda police, saw how they could help the people who are affected by giving them, food relief items. And as they develop also a bigger plan for these people affected, by this, garbage slide. In the studios today, I've been joined by the spokesperson of JEMA. I saw him also condemn this, blaming it also, partly blaming it on government. Say assalamu alaikum. Good to have you once again.
Thank you for having me this morning. Thank you, viewers, for keeping tuned to this place.
I was reading somewhere, I saw your reaction to this incident.
Yes.
You also partly blame the government for this?
Of course, we do, but we don't want to delve much into the blame game. We need to scrutinize, study the situation and find exactly where the real gap is. First of all, it's a sad day, it's a sad week, it's a sad note that we have lost so many valuable lives, dying like this, recklessly. For me, I don't call this a disaster. It's actually murder. Or maybe if you like, you can call it suicide. But why I don't want to go into the blame game is that this is a reflection of the society where if you were to blame, it's a dimensional multi-layer of condemnations to make. But this is, in general terms, what we are. This is the society we are. It shows the level of civilization we are as a nation. It shows the extent to which you have gone to address the question of ignorance. 62 years into independence.
Ignorance on whose side?
Yes, ignorance, society itself.
We are living in a society which is ignorant?
Definitely.
About what exactly?
40 years, 62 years into independence, this couldn't have happened during colonial administration. You see? But here we are, 62 years of independence, and we have this kind of society. See? From the bottom...
I don't understand when you say society, which is ignorant. What society?
The Ugandan society entirely.
The Ugandan populace, the people of Uganda are
Exactly.
ignorant. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Ignorant
and
about
that
what?
That tells you that we haven't adequately addressed that question of ignorance.
Ignorance on what side? On which side exactly?
Ignorance in general terms, because I've told you...
Ignorance about the law, ignorance about their rights, ignorance about their...
About how a civilized society should live. And that's why I told you it shows the level of civilization we are. In this century, you see, you get Fountain of Honor, the head of state, proudly using an international platform to announce and mourn the death of citizens dying of garbage. It's a national embarrassment.
Garbage slide.
National embarrassment. Under his nose, in the capital of the country, Kampala. What is happening far away from the capital? See? Going to an international platform, announcing and mourning the death of citizens quite a number of them, and actually up to now, you have just stated some bodies haven't been retrieved yet. See, and it's taking days just to retrieve bodies.
At least they are working.
Okay.
They are working.
But I mean, the head of the
they've been working
nation,
since the disaster
and
struck.
no, everyone seems to take it normal. And that's why I told you this is the kind of society where you even look for somebody to blame and you fail to get one. We seem to see it as normal.
You started by saying that you didn't want to blame games.
Yes, because
you end up
because I mean that is the fountain of honor. And telling the entire world that my people have died of garbage in the 21st
So you
century.
didn't want him to come out and commiserate with those who lost their dear ones? Or even
But what can he do anyway? I mean, this is because we seem to see it as normal. It doesn't regret at all. I mean, it doesn't seem to express any remorse that people, citizens, in this century, 21st century.
But Doctor, are you not being unfair to the head of state? Because here, when disaster struck, he sent out a condolence message.
This is not a natural disaster.
And the government has, sent some, however little it may be, but at least it is going to help those who, were affected. They're busy helping the victims. Those who lost their dear ones, I think they were compensated with 5 million. Those who are wounded, they've been extended 1 million shillings to help them, with treatment.
It's not a natural disaster.
Isn't that fair enough?
It's not a natural disaster. It's not.
Did you see it coming?
Yeah.
If you did see it coming, then it is a natural disaster.
No, well, it's man-made. It's man-made, not natural. You even wrongly describe it as land hill. No?
A garbage hill.
Yeah, land hill. But see, this was air hill. Almost somebody turning it into a tourist attraction. In fact, when you pass by that location, everybody would always want to turn their necks and look at it. Just simply looking at it.
A mountain of garbage.
A mountain of garbage. It's like a tourist attraction, man-made. Huh?
But I think I agree with you that this was bound to happen anytime soon.
Yes, see? And we take it normal. That's why you find people in Katanga there, sewage passing by, and they are eating close by. Normally. This is the society. Ignorance. You cannot call that.
What should they do? These are cheaper places to reside in. And you're blaming them for being ignorant, but actually you're forgetting the real reason. The real reason is they cannot afford, to live in Kololo, to live in your residential areas.
Yes.
Because the cost of living there is a little higher.
Yes.
So they choose to go here. So it's not because they're ignorant, but rather it's not even a choice they want to make, but it's the place they can afford to live in. They have no choice to make.
No, can you imagine people shifting wherever they are shifting from to come? In the first place, garbage is collected away from people to where there are no people. But what are those forces that bring people to sleep in garbage in the 21st century? People coming from wherever they are coming to come and sleep in garbage. And this is why I called it a national embarrassment. A national embarrassment. When you see the head of state himself not paying attention to that, the kind of embarrassment, you then describe the entire society to be that level of civilization, that level of awareness, that level of exposure to the international trends, exposure to what the modern life should be like. You see? And now, it tells you, now we calm down. We try to synchronize, to come down to the smallest unit where we can trace the problem from. The problem, to me, lies with the way, at the national policy level. Yes. National policy level. Because how do you plan for your people? Huh? How do you address the question of welfare of citizens? See? Some people were saying, in fact, it's why I squarely, you started by saying that I blamed government our party, Justice Forum Jema, blamed government for this. Because, look, who sets the pace for national policies? It's the head of state who endorses them, right? And you want to assume that he actually was updated by the various levels of leadership and his representation of ground. See? We have the other districts, for example, they make weekly reports. Why couldn't they have made? In fact, if we don't hear him blaming his own representatives on ground, then you know that he has been getting updates about this kind of danger. You see, and he didn't pay the necessary attention to it. At the policy level, what forces people really asking? What makes them? What drives them? What pulls them? What pushes them to such risky locations? Very risky as they are.
It's a place they can afford, like I told you earlier.
And what does that tell you? Where they are coming from is worse. See? Where they are coming from is worse. You know? This is not, you know, we understand there are torrential rains right now. And in fact, many fatal incidents are bound to happen due to torrential rains going on around the country. But this shouldn't have happened in the location where it happened. See, I'm telling you, we are a society that is still backward in terms of civilization. And I'm telling you, this couldn't have happened during colonial administration.
But I don't understand. Still now, you've been using that word. You've used it several times. Yes. Ignorance and being backward rather. You're blaming the Ugandan communities, but you're blaming them to, you know, settling areas where they can afford to buy and establish, you know, their residentials. It's not a choice they would want.
No, they should have.
And I don't know how that is related to ignorance.
Yes.
How is that related to ignorance?
They don't know. They don't see.
How is that related to
civilization? They don't seem to know. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the information that they have to demand for better than this. They don't have
demand from the government.
Yes, they have to. They don't have.
You
to,
wanted them to come and push
have,
the government to establish for them residentials.
Of course, look at this. Look at this. This is grass thatched houses. See, and we are telling Ugandans, we have been telling Ugandans that it's possible to shift from here, from grass thatched houses to these decent houses. This is in our GEMA manifesto, 2021-2026.
But isn't that
documented, well documented, but because of the population...
Isn't that just a picture in a book? Can you really afford to do this if you
I mean, by the time we put it here,
took charge of this
it's
country.
possible. But this is not the same as shifting from grass thatch to garbage. At least, even if we don't reach this level, there should be a plan on ground. But why not? Why can't we afford
in this country, this government has the capacity.
So ignorance, why ignorance comes about, where is ignorance cured from?
Schools.
Schools. What is happening in our schools? See? Just why the other time I was...
The learning that is happening in Ugandan institutions and schools does not impress you.
You see, the society...
It doesn't impress you.
The society reflects the standard and the quality of education system we have in the country. This is the kind of society.
Wait, you want to blame it in our education system?
Not necessarily so. Well, the way anyway it has been handled, the educational system, it promotes ignorance.
Why don't you bring reforms? After all, you are yourself the authority. You're a PhD.
Yes.
Why don't you propose some, education reforms that we brought? Let me tell you the latest that is under pipeline.
Yes.
No teaching, no degree, no teaching.
Yes.
Every teacher, it doesn't matter which level you are.
I'm an advocate for that. I'm a proponent of that.
You are?
Yes, I support that because...
You are saying, you're one of those who are saying that...
Yes, it's one of the ways
even a primary
that we are going
teacher,
to address the question of ignorance. The kind of ignorance that makes leaders ignore people shifting from grass thatch to garbage. The kind of ignorance that is making people themselves shift from grass thatched houses to garbage. See, it's total ignorance.
Wait, you're saying you're one of the proponents of this idea?
Yes, because...
So you feel that one of the problems that we have in our education system is having teachers who don't have degrees?
Exactly, no.
When you are taught in primary school, did you have any degree holder teaching in primary school?
No, what majority...
We're not satisfied with what the TTC graduates, primary teachers college, graduates. You are not impressed by the way they were handled.
Let me illustrate it. Currently, we have, actually the other day, Afrobarometer carried out a study on democracy, okay? And they established among the respondents they had, majority of them, 55%, did not complete P7, okay? Did not complete P7. Majority, and this reflects, it's a national reflection. Majority of Ugandans are in that state of something to do with formal education.
They're illiterate.
Yes, majority of them. So the few who are PhD holders, to the apex there, cannot influence the majority. This is how democracy was. But I was contesting the outcome of that study, and I asked the authors that really do we have to measure the progress we have made in terms of democracy from the perception of people who did not complete P7, and this is all over the country. Ignorance. No? That standard cannot be the measurement for us to to the extent to which we have moved towards the trajectory of democracy. Now, this cuts across all areas. See, now you ask, what why should people who are informed, who should have been informed, shift from such a life? Okay, the forces, what are the forces that are making people shift from the kind of bad life they are living to even worse life? See? For me, that's why I come to blame the people at the national policy level. This is what they should have done to prevent this. But because the people themselves...
Maybe they would want to, but they don't have the capacity. You know that.
No, it is possible it's there. What kind of capacity are you asking about? We have
you see, we are talking about a country where we still have a number of people who are homeless.
We have leaders.
You move on the streets of Kampala late in the night. Not actually late in the early in the evening, as early as 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You're going to see people, sleeping in the streets of Kampala. So if you still have a big section of Ugandans who are homeless, and then you talk about these ones who can even afford to buy land and establish grass thatched houses.
Describing the kind of mediocrity leadership we are having in the country, because this is all its responsibility to move people away from the streets, have them live a decent life in this 21st century. See, because themselves, the leaders, are living in mansions which are more expensive than leaders in the communities, in the societies, in countries, So you cannot come here to claim that you don't have the capacity, you don't have the means, you don't have the resources, when you're yourself living in the kind of mansion that is more expensive than those societies, than those people, where their leaders are living.
So you wanted our leaders to also live in such kind of houses?
No, not necessarily so, but they should, this should fall down, in that sequence. If you are living a decent life, make the same for your citizens. See, we have leaders.
But realistically, doctor, the world is not like that. Realistically speaking,
we have leaders who are living, traveling in the.
We always have those classifications. There are those who are in the upper class.
No, we are saying
the lower class.
You cannot claim that.
We can't all be rich. You know that.
No,
not even America.
It's not even being rich.
We can't all
living a decent life. Living a decent life. You don't necessarily have to be rich. No, you just have to be organized.
Because I kind of think you are unfair blaming the government,
But really, Mr. Mwonge, garbage here, this is something that can be treated even in a vehicle parked along the street. In the technological era we are living today. Yeah?
I've heard that there are some people who had
a mere vehicle parked on the road.
I've heard that some investors, let's listen to each other. I heard that some people had brought some ideas to see how they can, convert this garbage into something useful. But their proposals have been, are not bought, either by the state or by...
And what do you call that now? Is that being informed? Is that being, actively concerned about the welfare of the people, the led? No. And this, to me, I'm just surprised that people take it to be life, rather, normal life, And instead of demanding for accountability, for service delivery, we were now just everybody is pointing at this and that. But as society ourselves,
Yes.
we have to, first of all, in the media here, you have to empower people with the necessary information. This kind of solid waste could have been treated. Not
Yes.
even today, you don't need the land here to do this. This is something of the 18th century. And you call that
Doc, I think we've
civilization.
discussed that for long. We've been discussing that. All we can say about that issue is to continue praying for those who lost their dear ones, and also those who are stuck under garbage. I mean, I'm pretty sure by now you're dead. All we can say is to pray the Almighty God to receive your souls, with kind hands. Speaking of death, the media profession, or journalism profession rather, or the media fraternity have lost a colleague, senior colleague actually, Tamale Mirund'S. I don't need to talk much about him. He's been really known, a prominent figure. We lost him. I think it was, last night, yes. You happen to have worked closely with him. I remember hinting on that some time back as his editor of his books. What can you say about him in just a minute before we continue with the bit?
Yes, a very good friend of mine. We, as Justice Forum Jema and as a person, we want to convey our condolences to the relatives, friends, and the country at large, because he has been somebody serving at the national level. For his passing on, we pray for the Almighty God's mercy towards his soul. Oh, he's a very good friend, very old one for me. We started working together. There was a publication called Message, a Muslim publication.
You were the people behind the message?
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
Then
I no longer see it in the streets.
yes,
Stop publishing.
that's how the Ugandan media is, on and off, on and off. Yes, we worked together there. He used to contribute, an op-ed, opposite editorial opinion regularly, and I used to touch it, to fine-tune it, to edit it. From there, he started his, books,
Book writing.
handbooks. Yeah, handbooks, yes. And he took me on as his editor for quite a period of time. And that was before I moved to undertake my studies. In fact, what separated us is for me going for further studies outside the country for my master's and later on my PhD. But we remained closely in touch. One attribute I have of him is one who maintains friendship, very good at making friendship and maintains it, even when you hear him sometimes sounding a bit hard on his tongue. But he's somebody who can reconcile very, very fast. He doesn't keep hatred on his heart, continuously. So those are very positive attributes. And one other thing is well informed, very deeply informed. He has a lot of information to share around, and he has a very good way of conveying.
He had when I was gone.
Yes, conveying those messages in an entertaining way. So he's a naturally gifted entertainer. And that's one of the reasons why he's going to be missed, and I'm going to miss him a lot myself, although of late I've not been closely connected with him because of the movements each one is making. It makes it a little bit challenging for us to keep in touch. We're going to miss him, and miss him very deeply. We pray for the best of his soul to this new destination.
All right. Let's take a short break. When we come back, Doctor, we are going to discuss some of the things that we hear happening in your party. Is Jema still intact? There are certain things we've been reading, that have been written about your Secretary General. Are you going to tell us whether they are just mere allegations or whether they have some, iota of truth in them? Also, we are going to be, discussing some little politics here and there now that we are nearing 2026, where, political parties and, those who are contemplating, vying for various political seats are going to be contesting. Let's take a break. The day break continues shortly. Don't go away.
Discover delicacy at Cafe 2, your all-in-one destination. Whether it's the perfect cup of coffee or a satisfying meal, we got you covered. Indulge your cravings with our mouth-watering pilau, savory katogo, crispy chips, and tender chicken. Explore a world of cocktails and fresh juices for a truly special treat. Planning an event? Choose Cafe 2 for top-notch outside catering services. Benefit from ample parking. Stay connected with Wi-Fi and catch your favorite matches on DSTV. Cafe 2 offers food deliveries in and around Kampala. Hosting a conference, our center accommodates up to 1,000 people. Need a boardroom for a party or corporate meeting? We've got just the spot for you. We offer a free venue for birthdays and baby showers, providing complimentary photography. For those aspiring to become professional baristas, our barista school awaits you. Visit us at Albany Center, Level 2 on Ginger Road. Cafe 2, where every occasion becomes a memorable experience.
Uganda, your #1 leading education newspaper, is back, bigger and better. With articles to fully suit the educational triangle from the government, schools and parents all over the country, aiming at answering the ever left out questions, not forgetting revision questions and answers set by experienced teachers to prepare students for their finals. The Learner newspaper is supplied to over 12,068 schools all over the country with affordable advertising rates. We offer many more services which include uniform and sweater tailoring, all with an aim of easing work for the educationists. Contact us on 0754 777 029 or 0774 621 539. Email us on info@lananews.com or visit our website at www.lananews.com. You can also visit our offices at City Center Complex, Room J15, 4th floor, along Loom Street. The Lana, prioritizing education.
Are you looking for the perfect cake to sweeten up your special occasion? Look no further than Cake Oasis. At Cake Oasis, we specialize in creating exquisite cakes for all types of events. Whether it's a birthday celebration, a wedding, an introduction, baby shower, or any other special occasion. Our cakes come in a variety of trendy designs that will add a touch of elegance to your function. And the best part, our cakes are not only beautifully crafted, but also affordable. Contact us today on 0743 060 510 or 0762 572 464 to order your dream cake and make your event truly unforgettable. Cake Oasis, love at first bite.
Uliyunga wikakasa ddoboozi lyo wetaaga okutumbula ekitundu eky'omukuyimba kano kikasiirako BTM TV akuleetedde Raise Your Mic yimba ate ensonga za kuyimbira ku live band ng'ate abawanguzi bakwewangulya ebirabo eby'enjawulo okuli obukadde bw'ensimbi 5 pikipiki kapyata okulikodinga ennyimba mu audio ne vidiyo n'ebirabo ebirala bingi okwetaba mu Raise Your Mic genda ku ssimu yo nyiga *247*407# olondeko option ya Raise Your Mic olondeko option ya Participate osindike message butereevu ojja kuba weetabye mu auditions wano ku BTM TV. Abaana babayiseemu ku mutendera oguddako bakulondebwa abalabi baffe aba BTM era beewangulira ebirabo biwugiddwa Simba Automotives ne bikutuusibwako BTM TV.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching the Day Break. My name is Idrissa Mwonge, and I'm with my guest here, Dr. Swaibu Kagwansereko. He is the spokesperson for JEMA, a party that has always been known to have morals and uphold morals. a party that has been, at par, intact. You've never had those wrangles you hear in FDC, which even led to the divisions in the FDC, where now we have 2 divisions, one based at Katonga Road and the other still in Najanakumbi. NUP, where you hear some rifts. Gemma, we've not been hearing those things, but later there's something I read about the Secretary General, where some members are dissatisfied, they are, suspicious. They're like, maybe the state has infiltrated your party. They looked at the kind of car the Secretary General is cruising. They're saying that this must be a state gift. They're saying that your Secretary General struck a deal with President Museveni. Have you heard of these things?
Well, those rumors are going around. But I don't know. I'm very passionate about the issue of education. You just excuse me about that. I'm going to come to your question. But one thing we are supporting the new bill about education. We know GEMA, E stands for education. So we are very passionate and concerned about the quality of education, and we think one of the ways to address that gap is the path the government has taken to deploy degree holders in the lower sections of our education, because these people have the power to inspire and the young. So we want the young from that tender age to start aspiring for the best and the topmost level of education. This will address concerns like this one, which it is now. You don't expect somebody who was educated by a degree holder to choose of all places to settle it in the garbage. So that is one of the reasons. Now you're asking about the moral stand of our party, which is still a position we hold very with esteem, morality. No, the members like myself and the rest who have undergone the training platforms of GEMA, we can never slide back. We can never. If we, the other time I used the image or imagery of a brick which has been well burnt. See, that one can withstand all kinds of forces, however heavy they become. So this is one of them. It's true that the state infiltrates institutions like ours. In fact, any state should be doing so. Any professional intelligence agents, and we are aware of that, to an extent they have infiltrated, but we have our ways of identifying such characters. So our Secretary General is not a victim to that, although he has been tempted several times, like myself and the rest. But we are strong. We are strong. Concerning the new vehicle, he's seen in. Myself, I haven't seen it, but what I know about him is that he has often been changing vehicles, that being one of his areas of engagement, economic engagement. For a long time, he has been...
He's a car dealer, that's what
yes, for a long time, he has been so. So he changes vehicles, and now the rumor mongers will see one and start, concocting stories.
But is it that very soon you're having, is it a national delegates meeting or something?
Yes.
And among the issues to discuss, is that one?
No.
Not the car, but I mean this whole rumor that your Secretary General has been compromised by the state.
Yes, but that should be dismissed right away. To me, it is speculation.
It won't be part of the agenda.
Well, if he is asked to elaborate and explain more about it, he will do it, but it's not lined on the issues, the items, or for that particular day.
In fact, he wasn't the only one blamed. I was surprised to learn that even your founder, the chairman, Al-Haj,
yes,
Muhammad Chibirga Mayanja,
yes,
he was also involved in this
deal.
I read that one.
Well, there are also efforts you have to know that are trying to put down any seemingly organized. You see, one of the issues, the areas that that have been allergic to NRM see organized groups. See, the other thing is to do with land, the other thing is to do with the army. They want to monopolize those areas so that nobody can seem even to come closer. So now seeing that JEMA is one of the parties that, as you described it, that is steadily organized and making progress, however small progress is making, there should be efforts. Remember I told you, we have a government that is even concerned seeing 3 people meeting or talking. You see, this informed the enactment of the other law, which was there. The other law, you remember, the Public Order Act. You see, initially it was made such that you cannot meet 3 people unless you have first informed the Inspector General of Police. You see, now here we are, an organized political organization that's seeking to take power in Uganda. Definitely, they have to plant amongst you people who are there, and they are going to quote all sorts of stories. Now, it cannot be that.
So this should be treated as just mere rumor.
Yes, speculation.
All is well in
To us,
JEMA.
it is
That's what they say.
speculation.
All is well in JEMA.
This week on Friday, we are having a National Executive Committee meeting, and we are going to address. Definitely, there are issues.
Is your predecessor going to be part of
There are
it?
issues.
Your predecessor, who's contemplating running for the presidency, is he going to be part of that?
Yes. It is the NEC, the National Executive Committee, comprises of members of cabinet, and he's one of them. So, and others who are holding offices at the different levels.
Because it all began with him. He's the one who first stated that there are people who are not doing what is expected of them in the party. The state has infiltrated the party. He was the first comer.
That is, for infiltration is not news. That's definite. It's obvious.
But you don't seem bothered or concerned that the state is infiltrating.
Because we are aware.
Look at the parties. I start by giving you examples. Look at where FDC ended. And one of the reasons, why they are there, some of them blame it on state infiltration.
Yes.
Look at NUP. It is now being, torn apart. And there are those who are pessimistic that NUP is going to perform like it performed in the previous election. That is by bringing back the same number of legislators, like they do, or even more. There are those who are not so sure whether NUP is going to uphold that position. Yeah. And look at the UPC. Even say that doesn't exist. Now, JEMA, a party that has always been known to be, firm, united. When we hear members starting, to exchange those jibes, it concerns us. And for you, when you talk about this, first of all, you're in denial, just like NUP began, FDC began.
No,
you're like, all is well, all is well.
Deny.
Before we knew it,
we are not immune to infiltration. We don't deny that we can't be infiltrated. But what I want to emphasize is that for us, we are aware, and we have put measures to identify that kind of threat and how to guard ourselves from it. We are here, we have been here for 28 years. The other parties you are describing, in fact, they are young to us. The only other parties, DP, UPC, in fact, if you want to identify a party that has survived for long, intact, it's JEMA. It's JEMA. It's dead, and you may not believe it. But why? Because we studied. And that's why
we are concerned that.
Yes, the way we are foremost to identify the weaknesses of NRM. By 1996, when so many people were still enjoying, celebrating, we are sleeping, and for us, we told the nation that this is not the right group to lead this country. They have never been honest. They are always dishonest with their actions and statements. We identified that as far back as that. So you cannot tell us when it's getting to its worst level that we can team up with such a group, NRM. For us, what we are telling Ugandans right now is that we have the head of state himself running out of ideas, fresh ideas, because he has never gone. Unfortunately, we do not have a Camp David here for him to go and refresh himself. So no ideas, and you cannot say we are here to team up with that. No, we are just planning for Uganda post-NRM, a post-NRM Uganda. That's where we are focusing. That's where our efforts and energies are expended currently.
So you are no longer focusing on dislodging Museveni and his
But
administration?
Museveni himself is gone.
He's what?
He's gone past his usefulness.
That's what we said for the last 20 years. He's about to go, he's about to go, he's about to go. But here, the man is still here.
No, the man is
And,
here,
and now when you say that you're looking
tell me
at
what is new.
post-independent, rather post-NRM
Because Uganda, we have been telling
when
Ugandans-
is that going to happen?
We have been telling Ugandans and
And what are you doing about it? To dislodge the NRM?
Yes.
It's not going to be easy.
No, even if it's dislodging itself from the actions it's making. Look, this incident here happening in this period, in this century, and the head of
which
state
incident?
he has no idea. He's not telling Ugandans, let's have the technology. Did you hear that in his?
And you think that this is going to impact, this is going to affect the NRM in any
No,
way?
but look at even the performance of this term. What is so fundamental that they have made in the last 4 years? Maybe we have 1 year to end the term. What is so fundamental? Apart from making citizens internally displaced people.
That has always
this
happened.
have been, now,
It has always been happening.
People
Nevertheless, the NRM has stayed.
residents.
So I don't
in-
think
in
that is
Rubiji.
these incidents are going to work to your advantage.
In Rubiji, residents who have been evicted, do they need to be told that we no longer need this kind of administration in this country? They don't need, but they just confirm and reinstate, confirm what we have been telling them. So there is evidence now on the ground. Initially, we have been explained to them without evidence. You ask any citizen, any voter here, what is so fundamental?
Wait.
That the
What I'm learning from you is that you're saying that these incidents, they are going to affect the NRM in a way that people are not going to vote for it. And so
It is-
parties like JEMA or the UPC or the FDC are going to capitalize on these incidences, and then you beat the NRM. That's what you're saying.
Not so.
And I wanted to
but
refresh
there are
your
self-
memory.
there's-
I want to refresh your memory that we have had uglier things happen in this
Now,
country.
we are going.
But NRM has stayed.
We have to show them.
Remember when the cases had just come in, how people were evicted, people had their businesses, are destroyed. We've had, these some parts of this country affected by wars. People have lost their dear ones. So all these, they
So-
would make maybe the NRM
I
argument
wonder
that people
whether,
don't vote for
whether
it.
the image can come up clearly. We are telling them this is what NRM. Yeah? They continue to stay. They continue the use of gun to hold on to power because it's by the gun that NRM is now holding into power. And that's why we're asking Ugandans to hate anything concerned with the gun. You see? It's the gun. Around when they question about corruption, when they ask about taxes, you see deployment all over the city. Gun. Ugandans now you have to hate the gun. Everybody who relies upon the gun to impose their standards, their thinkings upon you, you have to hate that. We are not asking you to hold up guns yourselves to go and fight because that may not be helpful, but hatred itself about that behavior is enough to defeat it. So this is what they are blocking you from by their continued state power, Mr. Mwangi. This is where we want to take the country. So we get an opportunity here that if we are not simply capitalizing on this, we are simply explaining the reality on the ground.
But is that practically possible?
Why not?
That you are going to
What
move
kind
people
of-
from these
tell
grass
me,
thatched
which kind
houses
of material is
to
here?
this modern house?
This, what kind of material? It's simply because
You
of
feel this
ignorance.
country has the capacity to do that?
Why not?
Wait,
No,
it's
tell
your
me,
government that is going to
which-
do this for the people.
what is coming from abroad here among the materials you need to make this? It's simply knowledge. And that's why I want to shift from gun rule to knowledge rule. People are just incompetent. They don't have the knowledge of doing this. And by the way, let me tell you, one of the reasons explain Longo state power is because of being not aware of what to do. It simply goes to do with ignorance still. See, if
What
we
is
know-
it that
if we
the
know what to
populace can do?
If we know what to
What
do,
i-
What is it that you expect the populace to do and they are not doing? Something could help transform their lives.
It's like you're saying.
no, because
You've several times accused our population of being ignorant. And I want you to tell us, what is it that you expected them to do to help transform their lives that they are not doing? What are you blaming the population for?
Well,
They go to the
well,
polls
the-
after
the-
every 5 years.
Because actually, if you you have to, because they don't know what to do in the first place.
Okay, tell me what is it
You
you
cannot
expected them
blame
to do?
any ignorant person.
Okay, what is it you expected them to do that they're not doing?
They
The
should.
Ugandans.
Maybe I can blame the media, the media, because you are one of the forces that can help to save the situation by
What is it we are
by
not doing
conveying,
that
yes,
we ought to do?
by empowering people with the necessary information. You are not adequately doing it. You see, now this kind of heap, the garbage in Chitez, the media should have exposed it long time ago and asked the
But the issue of Chitez has been in public domain for the last, I think, 10 years. People have been concerned about this thing, you remember? And even the case
So you
itself,
told the people.
they were contemplating shifting. In fact, I hear they acquired land somewhere. This was in public domain. People
Then-
knew about
no,
it.
not
For a long time.
Okay, don't stop at
Though
putting it.
nobody saw this coming, nobody saw this incident happening, of it sliding and killing people in such big numbers. Nobody saw that. But we all knew that it was an inconvenience. It was a concern having such garbage, forming hills.
See, yeah, yes. So you should the kind of empowerment we would expect you to do is asking, calling for accountability. See, you cannot claim, you cannot hide in the excuse that nobody saw it coming. So, do you ask the ministry concerned? You ask the department concerned in the city, the local city authority. You ask them concerned. Did they even bother to put down case scenarios of where such a crisis can emerge from? You have the Ministry for Disaster Preparedness. How does it prepare for this? They should be having the case scenarios and how to handle them. You cannot claim that nobody saw this coming. I've told you this is man-made in the first place. It's not a natural disaster. You cannot describe this as a natural disaster. But the people themselves are big ignorant. They don't know who to ask even, how to demand for accountability. See, they need to be empowered. And me and you have had a consensus that ignorance is cured from school, okay? And then we have gone to shade a picture of what our schools are like and what they are producing. See, the way the welfare of the teachers, how they are paid, the structures themselves, this is the kind of society they are producing. See, the kind of society that, you see your teacher, Mr. Mwangi, by you coming the way you are coming, smart, no? You have your master's and now about to embark on your PhD. You are my teacher. Do you think I read in the body language of you the same as I read in one who is TTC? I'm not saying TTC itself is bad, but it's one of the ways.
But on the contrary, Dr. Swaib, I'm pretty sure yourself, you must have been taught by your teachers who passed by PTCs in your primary school, Primary Teachers College. And personally, I'm very grateful to my teachers, primary school teachers, the way they taught us. These were just people who had certificates. And I'm very, very satisfied with the way they handled us. I'm looking at a situation where you're calling upon primary school teachers to hold degrees. A degree holder standing in front of a P2 kid, teaching them. There is this whole thing of saying you are being overqualified. First of all, this person, I don't think a degree holder can really deliver, satisfactorily in a primary 2 class, just like a PTC would do. And me, when I look at the education, sector in Uganda, I don't think primary school teachers, honestly, school teachers not having degrees is something of a major concern. We have so many, issues that we should look at and resolve other than looking at this.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
We have legislators. The Constitution provides for the minimum education, academic qualification of just A level. A legislator, where too much English is spoken, where it takes a sixth sense to understand, to read those documents and understand them. But you're pushing there, you're allowing an A level, a lever to go. there. And then you hear you telling a P2 teacher, a P3 teacher, that if they don't have a degree,
And
they
even
shouldn't
nursery
teach.
teacher.
Yes.
And that's right. Yes, the sense we pick in that, I don't know, I've actually not picked the real rationale behind that, what the government thinks. But what I know for sure is the government itself, the NRM government I know, cannot afford to implement this policy. Itself is preparing it for another government to do so, maybe a German
Well, they
government.
said by 2030, and that's just
how
many years from
the
now?
same
6
thing they
years.
have been talking about the new curriculum, and now they paused it.
For A level.
The candidates who are going to
Because
sit,
for
yes.
all level, it's on. And
Yeah.
they were
It's-
having the
no,
pioneers
almost,
sitting this year.
It's almost halted because it cannot.
The new curriculum for all level.
Yes, because look.
Now I'm a teacher, I can
those-
tell you.
the-
I can tell it's on. In fact, this year, we are having our pioneers.
Yes, they are sitting, but what will they do after sitting these exams in A level?
In A level, yeah,
Yes,
that one
it's
they're
halted.
halting it.
Yes. So that is what I'm saying. So our stand as GEMA is that we need this new arrangement for national development. You see, you are talking about the society we are having today is because it has been taught. It influences the teachers who have taught it, who have prepared it. And that's why you see people are inadequate in terms of critical information. The kind of information that can empower them to see we don't deserve this kind of life in Kitezi. Do they have that empowerment? No, they don't. But you imagine somebody taught by a degree holder from that level. They will seek that kind of achievement, social achievement.
But I'm still
And
convinced that that is far-fetched, and it's not going to happen.
of course, under NRM it cannot because it requires, first of all, enormous resources. First of all, to build and sustain, which they cannot, because that would mean you put education as first priority in the national budget, which they cannot do. Definitely, this cannot be implemented under NRM because their priorities are very far away from things to do with social empowerment, things to do with health, things to do with education. So under NRM, they cannot do it. But under a new government that is concerned about world standard education for the people of Uganda, this is the way to go.
Okay.
And this is the way to address the question of ignorance.
We have to get out of here, Dr. Swai. Any last shots to make?
Well, we are asking people, of course, these incidents as details, many of them are going to happen.
Oh,
Okay, yes.
we are saying the incidents
Yes,
reoccur.
because we have no contingent measures to prevent them in place. You see, and why? It's because it's no. I was contrasting it with refugees. This one, that there is adequate attention to refugees simply because that area attracts funding,
From the UN?
international funding. Okay, this one where there's no funding, there's nothing, that tension, no. And people will only come up when this has happened to show that they are concerned, that they are giving relief here and there, and you get international media exposure. But we're asking the people of Uganda to please consider, think deeply, and join us, in fact, in demanding for better Uganda. We have to demand for, we have a stake, an equal stake, in the management and ownership of this country. So demand for better than what you are getting from your servants.
Thank you. Dr. Swaib Kagwansek there for you. He speaks for the GEMA, or Justice Forum, if you like. My name is Idrissa Muwonge. We've come to the end of this edition of the Day Break. From me and the team, we wish you a blessed day. Goodbye for now, and see you then.